welcome to our Perfected in Pain series.
Yes, in the Till Death podcast. Because, hey, we're doing this till death.
Oh, yes, we are. Props. I like your nails.
Thank you.
They match your shirt.
They do.
Very nice. So, we are doing a series for 10 weeks, and we're going to be sharing with you different stories that have happened to us throughout our marriage journey.
Yeah.
And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the reality of marrying someone from a different culture.
Yes, I'm going to be talking about when, some family members tried to do witchcraft on us because they didn't
Pretty
agree with
much.
our wedding.
Yeah.
I had to just put that in there because you're probably going to see that in the title and be like, what on earth? But it's the truth.
That's not a cultural thing.
No, but like they were doing it because they were mad about the cultural alignment. Wait, what do you
Yeah.
mean? It's not a cultural thing.
Like, it's not like, I don't think that was because of the cultural side. I think that was just because
Absolutely, it was.
it was because of the union, not the culture.
No, but they definitely mentioned the fact that I was Jamaican.
Yeah, but
more
it's
than
not-
once. Like,
Okay, let's just
Jamaica?
talk about
Jamaican,
this. Okay.
Ah. Jamaican,
So to give you guys some context,
Samuel,
for
a
people
Jamaican
who
girl,
think that I'm Nigerian, Haitian,
right?
Jamaican, and every other country but
But
where
where
I'm
you're actually from?
I'm Congolese.
Yay.
Okay, so I'm
Yes,
Congolese
yes.
from Central Africa.
Congolese.
Great country.
Oh wow,
Many
I agree,
many
I agree.
believe that is the Wakanda of Africa.
that would make sense.
Yeah, like
Because the wealth.
if we look at facts,
That's
it,
controversial.
it
I
makes
don't know.
sense. But
I can see why they'd
anyways,
say that though.
I'm Congolese and she is Jamaican.
Yes, I am.
So not only
Can I do
because
it on
the
YouTube?
thing is, some people don't realize. Yes, you can. Some people may just think, oh well, okay, well he's African and she's Caribbean. But the thing is, Nigerian and Jamaican, even if that makes a little bit more sense.
I can see why you'd say that.
Because Nigeria, British colony, Jamaica, British colony as well. Both speak English. Both are very similar in some senses. Both
Traditional
are
in some
very
ways.
expressive. Both carry music in their own way. So Caribbeans, Jamaicans, when it comes to Caribbeans, obviously reggae is the top genre there. And then for
I want to say this: reggae is the top genre in the world. Let's put that out there.
factually, it's just not. Sorry.
Absolutely, it is.
It's just not.
Okay.
I'm talking about facts right now.
Well, hip hop is.
Yeah, it is. It's been.
Okay, I'm about to talk to you about.
I can keep.
What I mean
Wait.
is culturally.
It's still. I wouldn't say it is.
What are you talking about?
The top genre in the world culturally,
Yes, it's absolutely reggae.
according to who?
I quit.
A Jamaican.
We can fact check this later.
All right, cool.
He's a music head, so he's probably right. But
So
whatever.
I was saying, like, reggae obviously carries the Caribbean, and then Afrobeat, which is from Nigeria, also carries Africa, right? So I would say, like, Nigerian and Jamaican, those kind of couples which I've seen,
Work.
it works. It makes sense.
But I've heard, because we know like a couple that's Nigerian and African that we grew up around, really.
Yes.
And they had a lot of the same issues as us, though.
They did, but I want to just, like,
I
give
understand what
some
you're saying.
context.
Yes, I understand what you're
So-
saying, because a lot of Jamaicans too, like, are from Nigeria.
Exactly.
That's another-
Like, if you look at their actual
like, historically, yeah.
history. But when it comes to Congolese and Jamaicans, guys, they have nothing in common besides the fact that we're both black. Congolese people speak French. Congolese people are not direct, which is very different than Jamaicans. Congolese
Very
people, I wouldn't say we're soft spoken because a lot of us are not soft spoken, but Congolese people are known for being very poetic. So, what I mean by that is, majority of us,
Poetic?
yes, huh?
Poetic.
Very poetic. That's why our worship songs, I kid you not, some people may disagree with this, but I kid you not, Congolese worship, I would say is probably one of the best worship you've ever heard.
I agree with
The
that.
lyrics are so deep that you're like, wow, this is amazing.
You know what? Yeah, Congolese people take a long time to get to the point. That's how I would
That's
say
what
it.
I'm saying.
But poetic is a way to say it too. Yeah, they really, like, I feel like Congolese people are the definition of like sugarcoating and beating around the bush.
I mean, I would, that gives it a negative tone, but
I'm just kidding. I just had to
yeah,
funny. I'm
like
just kidding.
Congolese people are just so different. And I'm just saying this because a lot of people think, oh well, they're just from two different cultures. No, like we're just so
Yes,
different.
or people think, oh, because she's black, he's black, it should work. But honestly, there's so much levels and variety to black people. Of course, there's a lot of
Yes,
similarities, and black people are obviously beautiful. And but we're not demeaning one culture over the other, of course. But I don't think people understand the weight of marrying someone from a different culture.
exactly.
We don't think it's that deep until it is that deep. But if we were to kind of jump into like what happened with us, um, my family, they were fine with it. Like my dad, my mom met Sam, loved him. It was easy. It was easy peasy when he called and asked them, to take my hand in marriage. From what I understand, it was a pretty simple yes, and that was it. But, on the Congolese, and I think that's because Jamaican culture is used to the merging. You will find Chinese Jamaicans, you will find white Jamaicans, you will find Indian Jamaicans, even in my family line, like there's like Indian in there, and that's where even the whole terminology of West Indies, like I feel like Jamaicans are more open to like other cultures,
Definitely.
right? And you will find different variations of Jamaicans, whereas in Congolese culture, like that's just not a thing, like from what you've
It's not
shared,
a thing. It's
what you
just it's
shared
just
with me.
not a thing.
So yes, so with his family, which is not my family, but I'm just saying Sam's side of the family was not impressed.
At all.
Even people who did not know me, who were not even in the country, who
Hmm.
had not talked to you, some of them ever, others like since you were a baby, had a lot to say and were very angry and were literally saying, and this is not like our interpretation, this is like they'll tell you like curses and cursing the wedding and the marriage and like trying to convince Sam and my mother-in-law, my beautiful mother-in-law, to call it off.
Yeah, and just because of cultural
That's
differences,
literally it.
I met
That's literally why.
cousins that I had never met before through this situation.
Yeah.
People calling us,
Oh my goodness. Remember
calling
all
me.
the calls to your mom? She
Yes,
was like,
and
it was a lot.
my mom dropping names of people who had their thoughts on our union, and I was like, "Who
Who
is
is
this
that?
person? Oh, yeah, that's your cousin.
Who that?
C'est ton cousin Dieudonné." It's like, yo, who is this guy? Like, I've never spoken to him in my life. But
Like, why do you have
yeah,
an
like
opinion, fam?
literally. And
We don't know you.
how did you find me?
How did you
Yeah,
find out? That's such
how
a
did
good
you find
point.
out about this? I don't have
We
you on
didn't tell
Facebook.
you.
Maybe you follow me on IG. I don't know. But
Oh
anyways,
man,
it
that's
was it
good.
was
That's
really
funny.
heavy. But one of the things that really stood out, like we're just saying, is people were literally going out of their ways to tell me their thoughts on the union and how Jamaicans are like this, Jamaicans
Yes.
are like that,
You
and
can't
just
trust Jamaicans.
people
Jamaicans are thieves.
exactly.
Jamaicans are killers. She's not gonna treat you well. She's not gonna submit to you.
Yes,
She's not gonna understand our culture. She's not gonna want to do our traditions, which is funny because I'm more passionate about your traditions than you are. Like
yes.
I love them.
I love them too. It's just, but the thing
Do
is, you're
you?
no, because you're coming as an outsider. That's why.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Majority of people who like reggae music are not Jamaicans. The people who are the most passionate about reggae music, I kid you not, are not Jamaicans. I'm telling. I've sat
I
down with people. It's when you
okay, but
when
like
you're an outsider.
you're one
When
person.
you're an outsider, you feel a lot more passionate about something that you're not familiar with.
I agree with that
So
point.
that's what I'm
I
saying.
agree
Like
with that.
as
I
an
agree with
outsider,
that point.
as an outsider,
But the point about
reggae music.
majority of people who
You'd be
enjoy reggae
surprised.
music,
You'd be surprised how yeah some of
you
these
guys are getting like a snippet into
you
the
would be
conversations that Sam and I
surprised.
have.
I'm telling you, some of you Jamaicans, and I hear you because obviously it's your music. I
Yeah,
understand,
yeah.
but you'd be surprised the amount of people that are not from your country that vibe with reggae like you would
No,
think
no,
they're
I
from
know
your
that.
country.
I told you it was the best in the world. I said that
Yes.
earlier,
Yeah.
so I
Oh
know
yes,
we
of
are the
course.
best in the world.
All right.
Okay,
Are
but
running, yes. Are running.
at running, at making food, at making music, at dance, like I can give you a list, man.
You think Jamaicans are the best at dancing?
Absolutely. Is that even a question?
I believe it to
Who's the
this.
best?
I don't have a comment on
No,
that.
I'm curious. Who's the best?
I don't have a comment.
Cause she knows no one else. That's why.
No, no. I don't have enough knowledge of different
You're
countries
a
and their
dancer. Tell
dances.
me.
I wouldn't say Jamaicans are the
Fun fact
best.
about Sam. Fun fact. I love to give this fun fact about my husband. He used to be a professional dancer.
That's right.
Show them something. Come on.
No, I'm not
Dun.
gonna do
I'll
that.
do a beat. Dun, 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 dun,
No.
dun, 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 dun.
I think I'll pass.
Come on.
All right. So moving on.
Come on. Show them something. Yeah.
Here is the reality of being married to someone from a different culture. Is I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say because some people could see that as very racist. Um, so I will leave that alone.
Why did you spell it? Like there's kids in the room or something?
Because YouTube is very weird with this stuff.
Fair.
So marrying her, I had to get used to the culture. Like I said, I did not grow up around Jamaicans. I literally found out the first Jamaican. Okay, let me give you guys some perspective. The first Jamaican I've ever met that knew they were actually Jamaican was a guy that she knows named Rohan, and that's when I was guys like
Oh, Rohan.
grade
Love Rohan.
grade 9 maybe grade 9 or grade
You
10.
never met a Jamaican till you were in grade 9?
That's what I'm saying.
14 years old?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe
So
I
what were you doing for 14 years?
maybe I met one. It's that didn't
You
actually.
definitely met one. Jamaicans are everywhere.
Yeah, I met one. I just didn't see them.
didn't know
as-
they were
I didn't know
Jamaican.
they were Jamaican.
Fair.
But
But you know
even
what?
that
I
alone
didn't.
tells
You know,
that.
I don't even know why I'm coming for
That's
him.
what I'm saying. Like it's two different
I
cultures.
didn't meet. But I okay. Why I was shocked was because Jamaicans are literally everywhere versus Congolese people who kind of like congregate
That's
in
the
one
thing.
area. But you know that's true. You know that's true.
It's true.
Hold on. But why I'm saying it's funny that I'm coming for him, excuse me, is because I had not met a Congolese person, guys, until I met my husband.
But you probably had.
Like consciously.
Yeah, and that's what I'm
Like
saying.
no one ever said to me, "I'm from Congo."
Exactly.
I didn't really think
That's what I'm
about
saying.
Congo.
Just like
The
with
only Congo I
Jamaica.
knew was Congo line.
That's hilarious. Well, the only thing about Jamaica that I knew, I'm not gonna say because you'll probably get offended.
I won't. What is it?
So what I'm saying though is just like with you.
What is it?
I'm not gonna say.
What is it? Tell me.
I'm not. It was reggae music.
What is it, like
Re-
Dirty
reggae
Wine or
mu-
something?
Reggae music. Reggae music. Listen,
It was, wasn't it?
it actually wasn't.
What
I didn't
was
know
it?
that's where it was from.
Are you gonna? I think that is it a dance move?
No, I'm pretty sure it was cannabis.
Oh,
Yes.
I was really hoping you were gonna say that. That's
Why?
so typical. Really?
Oh, listen, speak to your country. Speak to your
Okay.
country. You know.
Okay.
But yes, going back to our topic about the challenges of marrying someone from a different culture. My main thing was just that people kept telling me that things were not going to work because of the fact that you were from a different culture. And the thing is, like I was saying earlier, like our cultures are so different, even just language. So my mom, she understands and speaks English a little bit, but
That's actually a really good point to
you
mention.
can't have like a fluent. And that's why I was saying,
I couldn't talk to her.
I was gonna make a point
Literally.
earlier about when you said like you never met a Congolese person because they were not in your like you were not around French people.
No.
And Congolese people speak French. So unless you're around French people, you probably never met a Congolese person, or at least consciously. So all that to say is that
Yeah.
with my mom, that was a really big deal because she doesn't speak English like that. So even having to translate between my mom to you and then even
Yeah.
other family members like my aunt, my uncle, having to translate all the time. I was like,
Yeah.
there's a disconnect. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, what's that show? 90 Day Fiance. As much as we look at them and like, you know, you appreciate the
Yes.
couple and the
Yeah,
love
yeah.
they have, having a
I
phone
don't know
in
if I
between,
appreciate it.
that phone
That
in
show's
between
weird.
actually does create a disconnect.
Absolutely.
So that's
Absolutely.
one of the things with me and marrying someone from a different culture that I did not like at all is that disconnect between you and my in-laws and so forth.
I agree with that. I think what was the hardest part is when we were planning our wedding, because I don't want to give certain details because I want to honor people, people who we get along great with now. So I'm not going to say certain things. But one thing I will say is I remember, you know, in African culture in general, but specifically in Congolese culture, you know, you have a dowry. There's a presentation. What are the other terms? There's a presentation. There's a dowry. There's something else.
There's
No?
a cultural wedding too.
There's a culture, yeah, traditional wedding, and then there's the actual
Yeah.
wedding. I was down, guys, for all of it. Like, I was like, let's do it. I was excited. I thought it was beautiful. I loved it, especially the presentation where there's a whole role playing of,
Yeah.
I present you my. I love it. I'm like, this is fire. My husband was not about it. Like, he did
Yeah.
not want. I had to, like, he didn't want a dowry. He did the presentation, but it was like a very revised
Yeah.
version of it.
It wasn't even a. Honestly, I wouldn't even call it a presentation.
We also did the actual paid
Yeah. My
dowry.
dad gave your
Yeah, I
dad
gave.
a
I won't
nice
say.
envelope.
Yeah, I won't say the what he did with it, but just because I ain't trying to start any problems. But yes, like we did that portion, but Sam didn't want to do anything else, and I had to obviously respect that.
Yeah.
I didn't get it, but he was just like, I don't want to. I can't connect to that. Like I wasn't really raised like learning about this stuff. But the thing that sucked is I got blamed for it. Like they were convinced that there's no way he doesn't want to do this. It must be because I like convinced him to not do it. I'm like, no, like I actually want to do it. So that was tough because that made them even more skeptical. Like, why aren't you doing our traditional? So we did end up doing a traditional wedding though. Remember?
Yes, we did,
We
but that
did
was
do
more
it.
like the engagement.
It was, yeah. So
The
his
engagement
the
party
compromise was that
cultural.
yes, Sam's compromise was that if we had we could do an engagement party because our friends wanted to have an engagement party and our church wanted to have an engagement party for us. So or some of our church members, I should say. So we made it semi-cultural, and that was the closest to. So all of our bridal party wore the cultural traditional outfits. The decor was traditional. Funny enough, we still had like Jamaican food though. 'Cause we wanted to merge the two
I remember,
cultures,
yeah.
but it was actually a really good time.
It
I
was.
actually enjoyed that more than our actual wedding.
Absolutely.
Funny
Yes,
enough,
it was smaller. It was
it was
more intimate. I
intimate.
loved
I
it.
mean, there was way too much people for the room, but it worked
Mm.
because people just showed up like a typical Congolese style event. But it was a beautiful experience. But we ended up renewing our vows after 5 years of marriage and getting new rings and everything because of how traumatic the wedding was, or the wedding process was. So the wedding itself was actually fine. I mean, in terms of the fact that we enjoyed ourselves and we got married, that was the
Yes.
point. But we were pretty traumatized at that point. We were over it. We were tired. Yeah, we were spent. And we said to each other, you know what, it's okay, we'll do this again in a few years. And we did. We did it at 5. We kept our commitment. And that was the time of our life.
I loved
Renewing our
it.
vows was the
Yes.
time of our life. We actually have a video on our page where you could see the vows that we said to each other if you want to go check that out. But we cried. We were super, well, I cried. We were super emotional.
I was gonna say, did I cry?
I don't think so.
I don't think I did cry.
I think you're emotional. I don't think you cried though. He doesn't really cry like that. But it was it was like God redeeming like what
Yes.
we felt was taken from us, and it was a beautiful experience. So, but you know what? We talked a lot about wedding and engagement, but just as we wrap up, like, what is it like marrying someone from a different culture? Like, what is a marriage like? Like, what did you find was, you know, was there anything that was challenging or that stood out to you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say it's a learning process.
Okay, but why?
It's a learning process because it's someone from a culture that, at least for me, I'm not familiar with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think if I was. Why are you laughing?
Because he does this thing where he like answers the question with basically the answer of the question. But like I want like an actual example, you know?
So, if I was from Toronto marrying a Jamaican girl, it wouldn't be
Okay.
the same because Toronto's full of Jamaicans.
Okay.
So,
That's
for
true.
me, as someone from Ottawa, like I said, I met my first Jamaican at
At
14.
14, yeah.
So, like, um, I think it keeps the marriage almost like interesting
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm always finding
Yeah, I
more
was
things
learning other
about a
things.
culture that I'm not familiar
Till this
with.
day actually, we still share things.
Yeah,
We're like, "Oh, did you know?"
exactly.
But was there like a specific thing about me that that you feel was tied to culture that was challenging for you?
Yeah, I would say communication for sure. Because the
Really?
way Jamaicans communicate is very different
Okay.
than Congolese
Yeah, we've talked
people.
about this. That's true.
Yeah, so communication
Mhm.
is definitely, I would say, even for anyone who wants to marry a Jamaican and you're Congolese, get ready for
Highly
that.
recommend.
If you're not familiar with Jamaicans, way of communication, it's
Yes.
definitely going to catch you off guard.
Yeah, we had to have some heart to hearts about that because I was very direct. I am very direct. I think I've worked on it a lot, but back then I was like really direct, and my husband is not. I mean, he's very honest, but I heard someone the other day said about him like, Sam knows how to say exactly what you're thinking in the most like perfect and beautiful way. So it's like he's being brutally honest. He might even be insulting you, but you would never know. You would never know because that's not. First of all, it's not his heart to insult you, but just the way that he would communicate it would be like, for example, I'll say, "That is not a nice outfit." Sam will say, "I've seen outfits that are nicer." Like, how did your brain come up
It's
with
all
that?
about packaging.
Like, I would never think to say it like that. Or oh, I'll say this is disgusting. He'll say, "It's not my preference of flavor or taste, but I'm sure someone else would like it." So I've actually learned how to communicate like that now and how to be cautious and slow to speak and think about and not come so strong. Like, well, it's the truth. Because that's kind of how I was then, right? Would you say?
Yes.
Like, if it's the truth, like, what's the problem, right? I don't like it. Or the outfit is ugly. What's the problem? But you got to care about people's hearts. Like, you can't just walk around stage because it's true. And aside from that, you got to consider that people are coming from different walks of life. So someone might hear it and be like, it's true. But someone else might hear it and be devastated. And you've insulted them completely. So I agree that was hard. And on my end, it was hard because I was kind of just like, spit it out. Like, tell me how you actually feel. So Sam, I think you would agree, you have to learn to like
Definitely.
also just because he didn't come from a family, and you've told me this many times, like that opened up, that communicate, that said feeling. So I've definitely seen a huge like difference. You are very open to your feelings now. Take some time,
Yeah,
but
it's a process. It's a process.
but you're willing.
Yes.
Versus before, it was just like, why are we talking about this? Like, I don't do that. I'm not used to that. So that's just, there was a lot, I'm sure, of other things too, but overall, like, it's worked really well. I mean, we're still here.
Yes.
And I would never change it for, like, if, say, for example, I can still get Sam, but he'd be Jamaican. No. Like, I'd want you to be Congolese. I love the culture. I love what I've learned from it. I love the people. Actually, two of my best friends are Congolese. And, yeah, I think that there's a beauty in cultures merging. And I would encourage you to, I was going to make a joke about Dr. Umar. Um,
Oh Lord.
I would just encourage you to follow your heart and align with Scripture. Because in Scripture, there's no, like, when you're saved, like, the only culture is Jesus Christ. Like, you're not, you have to be, I think we have to also be careful that we're not, like, borderline racist, that we don't realize it.
I was gonna say follow scripture, not your heart.
Yeah. Ooh, okay.
The heart is kind of.
It's deceiving.
Exactly.
The Bible says that. So anyways, guys, that was a little bit, very, very little bit about our journey, and we conquered it. And now we encourage people that it's possible.
Yeah, embracing cultural differences.
Yeah.
It's very, very important.
Yeah.
If you want to make things work, you have to embrace the other cultures.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, guys. So that concludes episode number 3. I was looking at you because I wasn't sure if this was 3 or 4. But yes, episode number 3. Of course, if you haven't yet hit subscribe right now. We're dropping these every single week.
Yes.
For 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, but 10 weeks. So this is our series, guys, and we are looking forward to hearing from you in the comment section. If you've married somebody from a different culture,
yes,
let us know.
And if you're a Congolese,
I was gonna
Jamaican,
say, I want to see a Congolese Jamaican.
I've only met one. I've only met one other one.
Really?
Yeah, Episode Spider, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Except in that case, the guy is Congolese. Sorry, the girl is Congolese and the guy is Jamaican.
Which Congo is the girl from?
I don't know. Wherever Priscilla's from? I don't know.
Okay. I'll say. Because my Congolese people know there's 2 Congos, So gotta be specific here.
Have we met any other one? I feel like we've met another one.
I don't think I have. If I have,
I'm pretty sure
definitely
there's one other one. Anyways, guys, let us know.
Yes.
In the comment section. Make sure you go ahead and you hit subscribe. We have so much more exciting things to share. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Share it with someone to encourage them. just to help us grow this page and continue to make amazing content for you guys. And yeah, see you in the next episode. Bye. Love you.